Hey guys, this is Ijeoma Kola here. So if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that getting our things from America to Kenya was a process, but we finally have our things. So I want to do a really quick video with some of my key tips for planning an international move. If it's your first time here, you already know the drill. Hit that subscribe button and also hit the notifications bell. I did my maternity photo shoot earlier today, which is why my face is completely beat. I wish I could do this, but I can't. But that's not why we're here. So let me go sit down so we can get this video started. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is shipping your items across continents. So we shipped all of our furniture from our apartment in New Jersey to Nairobi, and we were told that it would take 56 days from the day that it left our apartment to when it would arrive in Nairobi. Now, it took much longer than that. So my first piece of advice is to make sure that you allow yourself enough time to receive your items. If a shipping company gives you a quote for 2 months, plan for 3 months. If you're told 1 month, plan for 2 months. You just never predict customs and border patrol and port. So make sure that you have enough money saved up for any additional charges. Having to stay in a furnished apartment for a little bit longer, maybe extending an Airbnb. So just plan ahead and have some wiggle room and some cushion time for how long it'll take your stuff to arrive, because after sharing my frustration with how long it took our things to arrive, I heard from many people that that's actually really common, that it takes forever for things to arrive, especially depending on the country to which you move to. So the second piece of advice that I have is related to packing. So we actually shipped our items about 2.5 weeks before we actually took the flight and moved. There's like a 2.5 week period where we had kind of like left some things behind and we're living out of our suitcases. So one suggestion that I have, if you are planning on shipping furniture or some of your items ahead of you, make sure that you pack the suitcases that you're going to be using in the meantime before packing the rest of the container. Here's why. So we ended up packing our container and, left some things, left some clothes, left some toiletries, left, just like things that we thought we would need. But then when it came time for us to actually pack up those things into our 4 suitcases, we couldn't fit everything. And so we actually had to leave a bunch of stuff in the States. So this is so sad for me, because I used to have matching velvet hangers. Like, I had all black velvet hangers. I love when a closet has uniform hangers. I hate when hangers are mismatched. And I left too many hangers behind and ended up, like, as we're packing our suitcases, Jonathan was like, there's no space for all, 30 of your hangers. And I was like, no, they have to come with us. And he was like, no, there's really no space for them. Had we packed our suitcases before packing the container, we would have known that, anything that can't fit in the suitcase, like, needs to go on the ship. Another thing is that if you are shipping things, to really try and calculate how big of a container that you'll need. We shipped a 40-foot container, and we shared that container with one of Jonathan's cousins. So between the 3 of us, we packed up a 2-bedroom apartment. She had packed up a 1-bedroom apartment. And together, our items did not even fill 60% of a 40-foot container. And I remember when we were booking the container, the cost of a 20-foot container was only like, $500 less than the cost of a 40-foot container. So in our minds, we were like, oh yeah, sure, like, let's just get the 40-foot, we'll definitely know we'll be able to fit everything. However, we didn't calculate the fact that once your container arrives wherever it's arriving, the cost of handling and port fees and customs fees, a lot of those things are dependent on the size of your container. So try to ship everything in the smallest possible container. Otherwise, you'll end up paying unnecessary charges like we did for basically a container that was half full. Now, I've gotten a lot of questions from people asking like what specific company we use to ship our things. So I don't want to share what company we use, because that company was actually trash and was partly responsible for the fact that our things arrived so late. But I will say that you should try your best to use a company that is recommended personally. So if possible, try to ask someone who's on the ground about what companies, what agencies they recommend for shipping, and go with what people know, even if it's a little bit more expensive, because taking the cheaper route can really cause serious delays. So another tip is that when you actually receive your items, you'll probably be incredibly excited to use your appliances, to use your blender, use your toaster, and plug it right in. Don't make the mistake that I did, which was last night I plugged in our electric kettle, really eager to have some hot water for a cup of tea, and blew all the fuses because I didn't realize that our kettle was meant to be used with maximum 120 volts, but the voltage here in Kenya is actually 220 volts. So it sparked, and now the kettle is completely damaged and we can't use it anymore. and it like blew the fuse, and we like had to go to bed without any light because we couldn't figure out how to restart our circuit breaker and like sort it all out. So just double check your appliances, especially like small kitchen appliances, blenders, coffee makers, toasters, things that you don't really think about, you know, needing to adjust. Make sure that the voltage for those items is usable in the country that you're moving to. If it's not, you can always buy a transformer to help convert the voltage, but just make sure that you double check that, because that was like one of the saddest moments of my week. And lastly, I want to share a little bit of advice about making, oh my God. Are you kidding me?
What?
I saw you.
I passed by 3 times.
Are you kidding?
I thought you didn't see me because I was crouching.
No, now you're gonna be in the video crouching. So yeah, apparently Jonathan has been walking back. And forth during this video, and I didn't realize it until just now. The last thing I want to share about is making friends in a new country. And so I wrote a blog post about how to make new friends, like when you move to a new city. But I think internationally it can be extremely difficult because, you know, there's a question of whether you should make friends with people who live there, whether you should get connected with expat communities. And I actually think that it's pretty good to do a mixture of both. Depending on how long you're going to be in the country that you're moving to, it can be really helpful to have local knowledge and expertise. Locals obviously know the best places to eat, you know, the best places to shop, where to get your hair done. Expats, on the other hand, I think are really good for friendships that kind of help you ease into the country and into the environment without feeling like completely different and overwhelmed. But I think that the advice that I've gotten for some things from the expats have been, you know, more expensive. For example, if I ask where to get my nails done, you know, the recommendations that I might get from an expat are like the people who charge, you know, like American prices versus the recommendations that I might get from a local who like knows like what's really happening on the ground. So don't restrict yourself only to just having friends in the expat community. Like try and branch out to and meet locals. And so one way to do that is by getting involved in special interest groups. I have met a good number of Kenyan women by being in the natural hair blogging space, by meeting some Kenyan influencers and like talking to them and having events with them. And since I'm pregnant, you know, whenever I do something pregnancy related, there are often a lot of local women there too. It's extremely difficult to uproot your life and move to another country. So you definitely want a strong support system in the country that you're moving to. So I've covered some things to think about even before you move, and then a few things to consider once you arrive at your final destination. But if you're planning on moving internationally, if it's a dream that you have in the back of your head, I'd love to know what country you currently are in and what country you're thinking of moving to. If you have a reason behind the move, I'd love to know that too. Maybe you just always wanted to try to live in a different place. When I was growing up, I didn't really think that I would ever like live outside of America. But now that I've been out of America for almost 3 months now, I actually really enjoy living elsewhere. I don't know if it's just Kenya specifically that I am like really excited about, or just the fact that it's like a new experience, it's different, it's learning. I feel like I'm growing a whole lot and stretching myself, also growing literally and stretching literally like with this baby. But it's just been a really, really positive experience for me so far, except for the delay with our container. But besides that, it's been great. So thanks so much guys for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about moving internationally, feel free to let me know down below. Obviously, like systems will be different in different countries. So, you know, I can't answer like specific questions about how to do XYZ in like said country, but Google's your friend. So always try asking there first, but you know, who knows? Maybe somebody in the comments will know the answer to your question. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, send it to somebody who you think would like it, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Bye.